Back home, and we'll be going to do these town halls across the Northwest Bronx, of course, Inwood, Washington Heights, Hamilton Heights, Manhattan Valley, Harlem, East Harlem, and all of the neighborhoods, and a little bit of the West Side now, and all of the neighborhoods within the district. In addition to that, on Saturdays, Saturday mornings, I'm going to be having my coffee meet and greets. And then we'll also have them on Sundays. For folks that cannot make it Saturday, we'll alternate them and have them on Sunday. And I believe the first one is coming up, the first meet and greet, ladies? The first meet and greet coffee is when? This Saturday, okay, so this Saturday we'll have the first one in East Harlem, and we'll continue to do them across the district. But the most important part of this is to hear you, your concerns, and I've invited members from several of the agencies that I know are really important to this neighborhood. And as such, I think that you'll be able to ask questions not just of me, but also of them. And we have with us today our very own Inspector Castillo from the 34th Precinct, who's here with us today. He's got a young face, but he's got a lot of experience. We also have Megan Molina from the MTA, also a very young face, but a lot of experience. And she will give you public transportation and MTA related information. We also have Anthony Bettis, who's the new Manhattan Borough Commissioner for the Department of Parks. Yes, sir. Young face with some hair on it, right? And we have also from the Department of Sanitation, we have James Levy, the Manhattan Borough Chief, and we have sanitation issues that I know are important to all of us. Yesterday I was with the city and the mayor, and now we're seeing his rat initiative in Harlem. And he's going to be allocating funding for what he calls the rat czar, a person that will follow through on rat-related issues. You may not think it's important, but when the cobblestone was removed over on 10th Avenue, yes, there was a migration, big migration. This was a few years ago, you remember, a big migration of rats from up and around the sanitation depot and the cobblestone under the L, coming as far west as Indian Road, and of course, all around here. So we took some initiatives to help alleviate that. So sanitation, police, the MTA, and parks. And you're not limited to ask questions about that, but those are questions that I know are very dear and important here to all of us, and important to all of us, the cleanliness of our neighborhood. Of course, our parks, which are really jewels, Inwood Hill Park and Action Park. Many of us live here because of those parks. The MTA, public transportation, a simple thing, just getting to work on time and coming back and reliable public transportation services, and of course our police services. It's important that we work with our police department, the 34th Precinct, in addressing the crime issues in the neighborhood, violence issues, shootings, motorbikes, etc. So they're here with us today. And I just want to go over some of the things that, some of the major projects that I'm working on in the district that are important. And I call them the mega projects. We're working on the second phase of the 2nd Avenue subway. That's going through East Harlem from 96th Street to 125th Street. And it's 3 stops. It's a $7 million project. And I say that it's going to connect Harlem and East Harlem to the rest of the world. It will connect to Metro North, which goes to 12 counties across the state and Connecticut, as well as future water transportation for both of the Hudson and the Harlem River, as well as making the 125th Street artery, and also express bus service to, of course, to the LaGuardia Airport. We're hoping that that second phase, which is in the engineering stage right now, will have a full funding agreement this year. So we're optimistic that next year construction will begin, and it will move over 150,000 people daily. It will also reduce the most overcrowded line in the world, which is the Lexington Avenue line. And of course, we're hoping to have there not just a regular train station and train route, but a transportation hub that will connect to Rockland County, Westchester County, even counties to Metro North in Connecticut. And so that's a very exciting project. We're working directly with Secretary Buttigieg on it to make sure that it becomes a reality. Again, East Harlem is probably the biggest transportation desert in the entire city of New York. People have to walk all the way from Pleasant Avenue, all the way on the east to Lexington Avenue, and you see the numbers, even of pedestrian accidents and traffic accidents, because of the distance that people have to walk to get to the current Lexington Avenue line. The second big project is the Kingsbridge Armory. And some of us may be able to see the roof of the Kingsbridge Armory from here in Park Terrace West and Park Terrace East. It's on Kingsbridge. It's the biggest armory in the country. You can fit literally 3 football fields inside of it. And it's 7 stories going down. So it's over 800,000 square feet. It's a mega site that's been sitting empty there for decades. And we're looking to transform that particular site into a major job-producing venue for the Bronx and Northern Manhattan. The city has begun the process to RFP. The project originally was supposed to be an ice palace with 6 or 7 ice rings, but they were never able to get the finances together, and so the courts stopped the project, and there's a new request for proposal. And the city's Economic Development Corporation will be pushing that project forward. I think that project has the potential to redefine the Bronx in terms of job creation, since those zip codes there are some of the poorest in the city and were the hardest hit during the pandemic. So if we want to send a message to the rest of the nation that we're back as a city, and that the Bronx is back, then why not take this particular site and transform it into a major job-producing site as well. We also have the Randall Transportation and Infrastructure Institute at City College, which we were able to get over $4 million for. That project will train young people for the construction jobs and other types of work that will be produced both by 2nd Avenue Subway and the Kingsbridge project. We feel very strongly that these 2 projects are not just, good evening, welcome our public advocate, Ryan Williams. We feel very strongly that these 2 projects are not just infrastructure projects, but that they're really job-producing initiatives, and that they won't be successful. The 2nd Avenue Subway second phase won't be successful unless we produce hundreds of jobs. The first phase went from 96th Street down through the Sills-Stocking district, which is some of the wealthiest zip codes in the country. And of course, jobs were not an important factor in that initiative, but it is in this one. And so the Randall Institute will train people in general for those jobs and other major jobs that are coming forward in New York State through our infrastructure and jobs funding that we put out during this Biden administration that I was happy to vote for. So those are the 3 major projects. There's a host of other issues that I hope to answer your questions about, whether it be a woman's right to choose, guns. I think guns is a major issue in our nation right now. We must address it head on. We haven't done enough, we must do more. I think this administration shows that they want to do it. They're not getting the response from Congress that they need to get. Well, they did. I was happy to get President Biden to get my ghost guns bill, and through the ATF federal agency, implement the content of that bill to restrict the proliferation of the guns, definitely of the future, which are ghost guns, that are kits that you get through Amazon. You get them at home and you put them together, and all of a sudden you have a 9mm gun, weapon that has no ability to be traced, no background check for the owner, and it's really out there with no kind of restriction whatsoever. So President Biden was able to do that, and we had the Safer Communities Act, which also we accomplished some things with regards to gun control, but that's not enough. And it is not just semi-automatic weapons, which should be banned altogether. It is handguns. They're the ones that show up in our corners around the district, in Harlem and East Harlem and Washington Heights and Inwood. Those are the weapons that are being illegally used to shoot at people, to kill people, and we must have some level of control over the proliferation of those guns coming up the pipeline from the southern states to New York City. So I want to thank you again for being here today, and